Good afternoon, everybody. So, a little backstory so I can tell you how I came to this conclusion that none of y'all are going to like. Nobody's going to believe it, but that's okay. I work for a manufacturing company. We manufacture these coils, what you would know as a radiator. And we're extremely busy. We're a private company, but I would say we're one of the top in the industry. We have huge customers, Amazon, military contracts, NASA, the cool little cart you see come out onto the runway and hook up to planes. We build those. We build all sorts of stuff. Okay. The company is very busy, and I've only been there about a year now, but coming from where I did and going there, I realized this company was always behind. Not in a bad way, but we would say a customer ordered 10 coils. We'd be like, oh man, we're behind. We can deliver 5 right now. So we would deliver 5, and then when we finished, we would deliver the last 5. Okay. Have a lot of big customers. If you want an image of what we do, if you ever go into a gas station and they have that big old fridge in the middle of the floor, you ever notice that they have that open bottom piece and you can see all the copper and stuff in there? We build that piece. We build the part that keeps the heat out and the cool in, or vice versa. I was like, man, no wonder we have so much overtime all the time. We're always behind. Always. I work 12 to 13-hour days in a manufacturing setting. And I'm not on the production side anymore. I mean, I am, but I'm a team lead. So I'm more of a supervisor. I was like, my last job, being behind was terrible. And it was restaurant. So, it's not surprising that if you're behind, you're bagging food and trying to get it out. If you're behind, that's a bad thing, because that's like instant. These are customers that we're getting, and they order from us and they wait till we deliver a product. And this year, for the first time in our company's history, they said, we're going to do things different. We're going to deliver on time. So instead of slamming us with work, because I get a schedule of products that my team has to make. They're a bunch of machine operators. Hey, we need this many products for this order. We need this many items for this order. And the page would be 60 to 70 hours worth of work. But we never got through that because, we only work 40 hours. Some of us work more. But average operator works 40 hours. So they're getting this much of a schedule. Well, they slowed us down. Now we're getting this much of a schedule. It's about 20 to 30 hours. And we get that every 2 days. So what we don't do in 2 days goes to the top of the list of the next 2 days. And for the first time in this company's long history, they're consistently delivering on time. Now, that took some hard conversations. The VP and the scheduling team and the VP's team had to call customers and say, look, we're doing things differently. We have always delivered an exceptional product, and we have, but we've not really been big on time. It's like, hey, if we're behind, oh well, they'll get it when they get it. Not a great business practice, but with what we were doing, and to explain what these costs, some of these coils cost millions of dollars. The other day, we delivered an order for $8 million, and it was like 10 coils that were, they're huge, but still. And we did that in like a week. Over the course of a week, those were built and shipped out. But for the first time, they said, we're going to slow down on purpose. everybody in there's like, oh my God, we're not going to have any work. We're losing work. That's not true. There were customers lined up at the door. They still are. And we've worked it out to where when we hit a certain spot, we call that customer, say, hey, we can do your coils now if you still want us to. And they say, okay. And it's only February, and this company's seen success already. The reason I'm telling you this is because what I think I've realized is this is exactly what PSA is doing. PSA is slowing down on purpose to try to catch up. They are raising their prices, raising their delivery time to catch up. Just like in COVID, when COVID hit, everybody got their little nostalgia bug because, there's nothing you could do. Now they're backed up, so they're trying to deliver. They about a month ago, Nat Turner came out and said, we haven't been doing our best. We know that. We're going to fix it. We're going to do our best. We're trying to deliver at a certain time. We understand the frustration. But nobody stopped submitting. They just kept slamming them with work. That's all it is. You're just giving them more work. You're giving them plenty of work. They have plenty of money. And now it's gotten to where they say, how do we stop? It's not like us where we can call a customer and say, hey, we can't do this right now, but we can do it at this month of the year. They can't just send your cards back. They have to take them, grade them. You've already, you haven't paid them, but they have to grade them. And then your turnaround time is months and months that you're waiting. But people are grading just the most average stuff. For example, if y'all make fun of this, I will smack you because my nephews gave me this. They're very little, and this is sentimental to me. That's all, People are grading these regular EXs. There's nothing special about it. There is for this one to me, but these whatnot streamers and stuff like that are grading these in order to, make their money off you. Put their little gambling bag going in. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win this PSA 10 Mewtwo. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, it's going to be the Destin Rivals PSA 10 Mewtwo. That's the chase. And then you pull a Mewtwo, but it's that. And then, five or six bags later, somebody pulls the Destin Rivals one. Whatever. To each their own. Sure, grind. Go for it. But this is what they're getting right now. They're not getting quality. I wouldn't even call this like super quality, but they're not getting this anymore. I mean, they are, but they're getting this along with tons of those. And it's just too much for them. At least that's what I think. During COVID, they did the same thing. They raised their prices astronomically high to where it was like $50 a card. And I remember looking at that during COVID and being like, wow. And I didn't know what grading really was then. I wasn't really big into the TCG part of this hobby. I was a video gamer. I was a Pokemon video game player, left, right, up, down. I played all of them. That was my thing. However, then I, found my little childhood collection, and I was like, man, I still have them. They're sitting in a binder right in front of me, actually. And I was like, man, these cards might be worth something. And my girlfriend at the time was like, they are if they're really well graded, but they have to be in like really good condition. I'm like, what are you talking? What's graded? She explains it, and I look it up, and I was like, wow, this is really expensive. Turns out it was really expensive because they were just overloaded. So, I put that away and really never thought that I'd return to it. But out of nowhere, I started collecting again. And I got bigger into this part of the hobby. The buying, the selling, the trading, the grading. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give my shot at grading. So I did. So then I enjoyed it, and I got a membership. And now that membership kind of feels a little, I don't know, worthless. We still have the access to the 25 a card tier, but that went from 18 to 25. They got rid of the 18, and it was like $18 submission, $22 a submission, and now they combined those and made them 25. And it's a minimum of 20 cards. So you're looking at a minimum of $500. That's it. There's no way around that. And then that's if you're a member. If you're not a member, the prices have gone up. But I don't think that they're doing this because of greed. Everybody's, they're greedy. I don't think they're greedy. I think they're trying to deliver. They're trying to meet these things that everybody keeps like yelling at them about. Hey, they're not doing this. They're not doing that. They just want your money. That's not the case. Sure, they do things differently. I don't agree with the fact that cards should cost more if they're, to grade if they're higher value. I don't. But that's how they do things, and I prefer PSA, so I'm gonna do it. However, they really could give a crap less on trying to please everybody right now. So like this small group of people that are like, they're doing this because they're a monopoly. They're not a monopoly. They're not going to be a monopoly. Somebody will step in before that. But CGC owns 18% of the market. They bought out Beckett and whatever that other company was that was a nobody to begin with. But you still have Tag and Ace, if you want to include Ace in that. But Tag is, they're the up and comer. Everybody loves them. I personally don't see it happening. But PSA is doing something right. They're trying to please their main customers right now by even if that means a little bit of heat from their actual paying members. So the people who pay a membership per year, they're trying to reduce your desire to submit to them so they can catch up. So if you do want to submit, you're going to submit probably at a higher tier, lesser cards, because you could submit 6 cards for $300, or you could submit 25 for $500. When you do the numbers, it doesn't make sense, but a lot of people don't want to pay that $500. So you become very careful on what you submit. For example, submission I have coming out soon will be some of this vintage stuff I have. Vintage Japanese Machoke, Dark Machoke, Blastoise EX. It's not all like vintage. It's just older than modern, stuff like this. Things that when you grade them, they carry a higher premium. So people are going to do those. And when they submit those, they're going to be okay with it, as opposed to these people that are submitting regular EXs, really cheap IRs, just regular modern, like regular cards, because they are trying to flip them in like what is essentially a gambling business. I don't think PSA is trying to just take money from you. And I think that when it dies down some and they get a chance to get caught up, they'll do exactly what they did during COVID, and they'll revert back some. Do I know? I don't think we'll see $15 a card for bulk submissions again, but I do think you'll see 18. I do, maybe 20. I just don't agree with the mass amount of hate that this company gets for everything they do, when really they're doing some of the things that people are demanding. And everybody's upset about how harsh they're grading. That's a good thing. Not only does that make you really learn grading, and I'm still new to this. I have like a 28 card, 30 card submission out right now of different illustration rares, SIRs, alt arts, etc., from multiple different eras, mostly modern. They might not come back like I thought they would, but it'll give me a chance to learn and like go over and say, oh, okay. And maybe if I disagree, I'll submit them again. But they're harsher. So their grading scale has changed. The parameters of their centering have changed. It's not a bad thing. Actually, as a matter of fact, that's how PSA stays on top, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, whether you like it or not, they are going to, how can I easily put this? They're going to have less 10s now. which is going to make them more valuable. So they're going to hold a value. So when you're out buying, you know, we'll just pick one of my favorite cards, Gengar VMAX from Fusion Strike. Man, I have a ton of those boxes and never got that. Wish I just saved them. If you take that card and you take it now and you submit it, and say it was a brand new card, okay? Let's go with Gengar from Ascended Heroes. If you take Gengar from Ascended Heroes and you submit it now, it's a lot harder to grade compared to what Gengar VMAX was. And because of that, Ascended Heroes Gengar is going to hold value better because you aren't going to be able to go to 6 tables at a show and find Gengar Ascended Heroes in a PSA 10. You might be able to find 2 or 3, but you're not going to find as many as you used to. And a lot of people are just upset that they're getting harder. Some people are just upset because they want to be. They want something to be pissed off and mad about. Don't understand those people. And when I first read this, I was like, man, this increase is crazy. It's like 18%. It's wild. They just said they weren't going to do this. They just said they were going to do it. And then I thought about it. As a matter of fact, I reached out to a acquaintance of mine. We just talk about grading and Pokemon stuff. He also does YouTube. His name's Jodo Jake. Y'all should check him out. He's good. I love Jodo Jake. But I was like, man, can you believe this? And he was like, dude, you should look at this graph that I just posted. It explains a lot. And it shows how every time a new set releases, so like every 2 months right now, the amount of grading that they do goes up and up, and come down, then up. That says a lot. They can't catch up because even every time they get the 2-month time period and they're about to be, more come in, get slammed again with the new stuff. So yeah, they're raising prices right now. They're and they extended wait times. I honestly, everybody, blah, blah, blah. They're really doing what you asked. They're trying to deliver on time. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to be sooner. It just means that they need to actually tell you and be forward and say, hey, it's going to be this long. It's going to be 3 months. Okay. And then it actually takes 3 months. But if they're like, hey, it's going to be 6 months, and then they deliver in 3 months, you're going to be a lot happier. But if they say 6 months and deliver on 6 months, you can't be too mad because they delivered on time. And that's kind of where I got the previous thing from. They're trying to slow themselves down, just like my company did, where they slowed down to catch up and then stay on schedule. Now, I agree. They shouldn't have raised prices for that. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to deter you from grading right now, so they can get caught up. And then when they're ready, they'll drop those prices back down and they'll keep it going. I'm with y'all. I was pissed at first too, but then I thought about it. And I had a meeting the other day at work where they were like, yeah, here's what we're doing. They explained that plan to me. And I was like, wow. So big companies really do this. This is what PSA is trying to do. They're trying to slow themselves down on purpose so that they can get caught up. And that's all it is, in my opinion. I don't think it's a corporate greed thing. If you want to try something right now, now's the time to try a different company. If you're, I just like my stuff slabbed up in a protective case, try a different company. And if you don't, stop lying to yourself. Put your money where your mouth is. Now's the time to put your money where your mouth is. Either go grade with a different company just because, it doesn't matter. I just want them slabbed up. And PSAs who I've always used. Now's your time to try Tag, CGC, Beckett. Technically, I know the money's still going to them. There's still a quicker turnaround time. So yeah, try one of these other companies. Tell me how it goes. Leave me a little comment down there. Let me know how that goes. But other than that, stop falling for all this rage bait that these YouTubers are putting out for clicks and views. Stop falling for the rage bait of, PSA, this, and this, because more than half of them, are still submitting. If you want to fall for some rage bait that's actually honest opinion, go watch Opossum Bud. Opossum Bud took all his slabs and cracked them. He was about it. I can respect it. I really can. I'm not going to do it, but I respect it because He's not supporting what he disbelieves. However, a lot of y'all are just pissed off, but you're going to keep submitting. Oh, it affects small business. You don't care about that. And no, it doesn't. They're gonna pay for it anyway. You don't care about small business. You care about yourself. And you're just upset that you have to pay that out of pocket. But that'll change. But for right now, if you can, or if you're about it, try tag. If they're so great, everybody loves them, try them. Go ahead. Do it. Try Beckett. If you really want to walk around with an ugly label 9.5, by all means, try Beckett. CGC, same thing. If it ain't pristine, it's not going there. For me, if it's not a black label or a pristine 10, which none of us can guarantee, I'm not submitting to them. They don't have the support in the hobby that PSA does. But PSA will come back around. You'll see it. We'll all see it. That's all I got for y'all today. Just be patient. It's something that the world does not have right now. Everything is tense. So if you don't want to feel that way, change it up. Be patient or try somewhere else. And if you like them, stick with them. But if you don't, eventually PSA will bring their stuff down. I 100% believe that. Stop falling for this rage bait. Stop falling for these YouTubers that are trying to get clicks and views and get money off you by telling you, oh, this is crazy. These prices are astronomical. They are big. You're right. But guess what? So is the price of everything else right now. Groceries, electricity, everything is astronomical right now. So yeah, if you want to be about it, go try someone else. If you like them, stick to them. If you don't, PSA will be back down eventually. My guess is it'll be after the 30th anniversary. So just be prepared to wait. Get your grading pile big and save your money up. And when the time comes, do you a fat 100 and some odd card submission. That'll really stick it to them. Make them grade your cards. But yeah, like I said, that's all I got for y'all today. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing big. PSA is literally just trying to catch up. Anyway, I got to go to work. So I'll catch y'all around. Peace.